Hey guys, this is Starcraft and I'm back to cast another 2v2 match for you. This will be a rematch between the same teams as last game. It will be Devaztayta, the red Protoss, and his teammate will be RuSH, the blue Zerg. Their opponents will be TTOne, the teal Zerg, and CellaWerra will be the purple Terran. So I think last game CellaWerra was Protoss and TTOne was Terran. And that just didn't work. Not that the race combo didn't work, but their strategy did not work at all. So maybe this time they will be more prepared for an early rush. And TT1 will probably go for some early lings to defend against RuSH. So again, this is a really old replay from version 1.1.1. So I don't remember exactly the differences, but I think that Reapers could be still a little overpowered in this version, so we'll see if CellaWerra maybe goes for some Reapers. But anyway, the last game that I cast from this series, I actually did it a few days ago, before the Laker game on Friday, so I've been pretty busy with the holiday weekend and whatnot. I hope everybody had a great Easter, and so I just rewatched that game so I could get back up to speed here and remember what I missed. And basically last game CellaWerra went for Void Rays, and that just didn't work against a whole bunch of Stalkers, Zerglings, and Banelings. So we'll see if he tries to mass up some ground this game, which is a little bit more standard in a team matchup. But again, these guys, CellaWerra and TT1, not your very common, they don't play 2v2 games very frequently, as from what I could tell. So it's definitely a different game, and TT1 is going to be throwing down an in-base hatchery, and that is going to get scouted by Devaztayta. So, so a lot of Zerg players like to do this, and I've tried doing it a couple times. Again, my Zerg is terrible, as I've always said, but this allows you in sort of the mid or the early mid game to really get an advantage in your larva count over another Zerg player. And you can really pump out a ton of Zerglings. The problem is that in the early game, your minerals are so much lower that you can't get as many units out as quickly. So in the very early game, it is not as effective. So we'll see if that comes into play here. As you see, RuSH apparently is going to be already talking down on TT1's strategy, so the pressure, I guess, is on TT1 now to make it work, and we will see. He is making a whole bunch of Zerglings, so now that hatchery is finished, he will be able to make a lot of Zerglings. The problem is that his Zergling speed is not going to be done for a very, very long time, and RuSH already has his speed halfway done and a Baneling nest halfway done. So we're just waiting at this point for the attack to happen, and Devaztayta is going for that 4-gate, and this last gateway is pretty far behind the other two. I've been working a lot on my 4-gate build order, and this is a bit of an interesting way of doing it. I think he's got double gas here, so maybe we'll see if he goes for some sentries in there. And meanwhile, RuSH is going to come around the bottom here, maybe try and sneak in here, sneak a peek, see what's going on. Meanwhile, CellaWerra going for that fast Hellion, and we'll see he actually has a tech lab on this factory, so he is going for the Infernal Pre-Igniter there. So once that Infernal Pre-Igniter comes out and TT1's economy starts to, or his double hatch really starts to kick in once he finishes his speed, that army on the right team is going to be very powerful. So RuSH and Devaztayta are up against it right now. They need to make something happen. The longer they wait, the harder it is going to be for them. As soon as this 4-gate finishes, there is the warp in of 4 Stalkers, and now the attack is going to commence. And TT1 trying to pick off some of these Banelings before they can get too far in here. It's going to come down to, oh, could these Banelings blow up all those Zerglings? That was huge right there. That is probably going to be game. That one Baneling just blew up so many Zerglings, and that was at about the 6-minute mark, and we'll go back and look at that just because it was so cool. But there's nothing TT1 can do. His drones are all dead now. That one Baneling just took him out, and now with all these Stalkers on the map, the Hellions aren't going to be effective at all. So TTOne leaves the game, CellaWerra leaves the game, so a nice job again by RuSH and Devaztayta. This series so far has been extremely one-sided, but there are 2 more games, and I'm going to have to cast them to see if TTOne and CellaWerra can respond and come up with anything to deal with this early baneling stalker push. So really quickly, I want to go back to the banelings exploding and check it out here, as somehow it just warped me back even farther. So let's see here. This thing is such a pain. Okay, faster. Okay. Now coming up soon, we're going to see a baneling push in here, and there's going to be an epic explosion when 2 of these banelings double back down into the zerglings right here. TTOne not paying attention. Oh my god, he just ran them. He had them selected right there, and that last second he just jumped up right into the baneling, and that was death. Baneling death. I love it. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. This is Starcraft, and peace out.